Good morning. Welcome to Vibrant Authentic Living. This is Nandi, and you're in the Lemon Water in the Mornings feature. So every morning, we present a feature on lemon water to encourage persons to add this as a part of their daily routine. In addition to the lemon water feature, every morning we have a little chat about some random thing. And the thing I want to talk about this morning is the fact that critical thinking skills are severely lacking in our youngsters now. I'm a teacher, and this is something I experience all the time in the classroom, observing how our children they don't think, they're not able to analyze, they're not able to solve worded problems. And I'm going to tell you what I think is the reason for that. So after we come back, excuse me, after we come back from our lemon water feature, we'll talk about that. When I used to go to primary school, actually all age school, that's what my school was called, Red Hills All Age School, right? But it's equivalent to primary school. We used to have something called mental ability, right? So we were preparing for the common entrance exam at that time. We had mental ability where you had to learn to use your brain. You had to be able to do mental arithmetic. We were given drills in our timetables and other general information that we were supposed to know. We were drilled on this, right? So there was rote learning as well, yes, but there was also analysis and problem solving as a part of the regular curriculum. When the common entrance went out, so I'm talking about here in Jamaica, right? For those who are familiar with our system, when the common entrance exam was replaced with the GSAT, the grade 6 achievement test for entry into high school. The mental ability was taken out and other subject areas were put in place of the mental ability. I personally think this was a big mistake because when we used to do the mental ability and we used to have to solve worded problems, we used to have to make comparisons and contrast and find the odd one out and things like that. It sharpened our minds, it sharpened our memories, it sharpened our analytical skills. And I'm finding now that the teenagers I'm dealing with now, especially, they severely lack the ability to think. The PEP exam now, the primary exit profile exam, which has replaced the GSAT, I think is a better exam than the GSAT, and particularly the ability test section is training our students now, preparing our students now, but is in its infancy still, right? We're not going to see the results of that for another couple years to come, maybe even a decade, maybe even 5, 10 years to really see that getting into the system, and we're seeing our students start analyzing, start making comparisons, start making inferences and deductions and so on. The ability test section of the PEP is definitely better. Well, the PEP in general, I believe, is a better exam, but specifically the ability test in sharpening the minds of our youngsters. Another thing that I think has affected our youngsters, by comparison, when I was at all age school, when I was in grade 4, 5, 6 coming up, we used to have to know our proverbs. They were called proverbs, idiomatic expressions, and what they meant, right? So we used to have to know these things. Of course, it was a more English centered, United Kingdom centered education because we were on the we had just recently gained independence, right, in 1962. And so those of us who were raised in the 70s and even 80s were still experiencing that British centered education. But one of the good things about that British centered education is that we had to study those idiomatic expressions. We had to know the meanings of the proverbs. The kids nowadays, they don't study those. At least at my school, I ensure that they are exposed to that because it's important. But we also had our own legitimate Jamaican proverbs. right? That your grandma used to say to you, your mom used to say to you, and through that mother wit and through that folklore, folk culture, the meaning would trickle down to you and it would add to your personal wisdom. I find that we don't, not even the oldsters are using those Jamaican expressions anymore, those Jamaican proverbs anymore. On one of my channels, Jamaica, Yahweh, I feature a lot of those Jamaican wise sayings, those proverbs, and I break it down to tell the meaning and the real life application of those proverbs, which I think is very important for us as a part of our collective wisdom. And I would encourage us as parents, as teachers, start using back some of those old time sayings, throw them in where they are applicable in everyday life. So the students or the youngsters can make the correlation between these sayings and real life events and how they can learn from them and prevent some mistakes in their lives, right? So this is a part of our tradition that we are losing, and I would say we should go back to that. I would encourage anyone who has direct or even indirect influence over youngsters, especially. Throw in these idioms, throw in these proverbs, throw in these colloquial expressions, and ask them, what do you think that means? Right? Because a lot of times I'll find a teachable moment and I'll throw in something, and my students are looking at me like, Miss, what are you talking about? They have no clue. They have no clue. And when you say to them, okay, think about it, what do you think I mean? Because of course these expressions, they have literal meaning and they also have figurative meaning and they have real life application. And when you say to them, all right, sorry for my god dog him turn on bite you, right? Or you sleep market, or the higher monkey climb, the more him body exposed. What do you think, Lou? Because they're gonna look at you puzzled, really puzzled, like what on earth? Or even well, last week they had an activity. I gave them an activity where even the English proverbs in the first aid in English, which is a very common and very popular English text here in the Caribbean, and they were to complete the proverbs, and they were having such a hard time. Like one of the questions say, make what while the sun shines? And you would be tickled to hear some of the things that the students say. Make what while the sun shines? And it came to me, Miss, what are it? What should we make? What should we make while the sun shines? And what does that even mean? A stitch in what saves time? A stitch in what? What are they talking about? So it's really, I think it's something that we will see the bad effects of, right? We'll see the bad effects of it if we don't do something to change that, right? If we don't do something to change that, then our kids are losing that ability to think and to analyze, right? Yes, so until tomorrow when we chat again, we talk about some random thing and feature our lemon water in the morning. So this is Nandi, and I'll see you tomorrow.